And you mentioned about the history of homosexuality. And the truth is that, yes, even in the book of Genesis, it was mentioned in Sodom and Gomorrah. Sodom and Gomorrah was a place that was filled with sexual immorality and homosexuality. And the Bible mentioned very clearly that God was, he was upset. He regretted the fact that he made mankind. Because every thought that mankind had was evil. God, and that's when Noah came in, and Noah then afterwards, then, as another story, that we were saved, and then a new restoration of the world from Noah and the families and so on happened. In Jude 1:7, just as Sodom and Gomorrah and the surrounding cities, which likewise indulged in sexual immorality and pursued unnatural desires, served as an example by undergoing a punishment of eternal fire. So it mentions very clearly of Sodom and Gomorrah. It actually says even very, very clear, unnatural desire, unnatural, that God had not made, and sexual morality, where they lead to. And what is the condemnation that you mentioned? Another passage that I believe it is as clear as day that speaks of the archetype as you mentioned. The Bible is a very clear book, and it's very easy to understand when it comes to God's speaking order. In Romans 1:26 and 28, for this reason God gave them up to dishonorable passions, so dishonorable. For their women exchanged natural relations for those that are contrary to nature. And the men likewise gave up their natural relations with women and were consumed with passion for one another, men committing shameless acts with men and receiving in themselves the due penalty for their error. And since they did not see fit to acknowledge God, God gave them up to a debased mind to do what ought not to be done. The Bible teaches us very, very clearly that these acts that are being done are unnatural. It teaches us that it's not right. It's not, God did not design this way. That it was made for a man and a man or a woman for a woman. That it's actually an error. That it's actually their own passions, their own desires that God did not naturally put in there. In many passages and many things that speak of us about marriage or so on. In Genesis 2:24, it speaks of marriage. It says, therefore a man shall leave his father and his mother and hold fast to his wife, and they shall become one flesh. There is no passage when the Bible ever speaks of marriage or union of relationship where it comes to a sexual intimacy, does it ever once mention that a man and a man or a woman is following God's order and correctness.